And that has something to do with why you hate the nobility, right?
So...
I never really planned on telling anyone about this. But considering all we've been through, I suppose it's time I told you a little more about me. It's a long story, but would you hear me out?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Glad to.
Thanks. Sis was 9 years my senior. Beautiful, kind. To me, she was in every sense the ideal woman.
Did
Now,
nobles
as I
get her
said
killed?
earlier, we're a family of commoners through and through. But my father proved to be a very capable government official. And eventually, he was promoted to an important government position, where he started to make a name for himself. Honesty and integrity are a core part of his work ethic, so of course, he made his fair share of enemies. But after seeing success in a number of major projects, he gained a reputation both inside and outside the government. My mother died when I was still young. But Sis happened to live around here and ended up helping us in more ways than I can count. Since she was his niece, my father always made a fuss over her. And even though she didn't live in the same house, she was like a real sister to me, and a real daughter to my father. I was always so proud of her. As a child, she was practically my idol. And as you'd expect, she had countless admirers among the men of the city. But for all her popularity, she was always level-headed and sensible. So I never felt I had anything to worry about. Until he appeared. He was one of my father's subordinates at City Hall. Though unlike him, he was a noble by birth. A man of high rank, too. The heir of a count. However, he had none of the arrogance or haughtiness one usually associates with the nobility. When I met him myself, he came across as an honest and loyal man. He met Sis when Dad introduced him to her one day. And eventually, the two of them fell in love and began a relationship, despite the difference in their social status. As a child, I was frustrated beyond words, but even I had to admit that the two of them made a good couple.
As he liked her, I guess.
And Sis seemed so happy when she was with him that I had no choice but to let it go and accept their relationship. Time went on and they became engaged, with Dad acting as the go-between. And that's when everything started to fall apart. His family couldn't have been more blatant in their attempts to undermine the relationship. Apparently, one of the four great houses, House Cayenne, proposed an arranged marriage on short notice. And the Count's family were up in arms at the thought he might choose to take a mere commoner as his wife. Since my father held an important post, they were limited in how shamelessly they could try to sabotage the marriage. They began to harass and threaten her in secret every way they could think of.
Damn.
They made her life a living hell. Maybe she didn't want to cause trouble for the man she loved, or perhaps she did it out of consideration for my father. But all that time, she chose to endure it alone. She never discussed it or asked for help. And finally, it became so crushing that she took her own life.
Oh, what the hell? That's messed up. Damn, man.
It was only afterward that my father and I learned what had really happened. It seems that at the very last, he had chosen to betray her love for him. But I told her, he said. I told her I'd treasure her as my mistress instead if she'd just accept that we couldn't be married.
So he decided to just go along with the marriage, to not I guess he cowered out, and he wanted to take her just as like a mistress on the side.
I just don't understand it. Why would she take her own life?
Wow.
After that, my father seemed to redouble his efforts. It was like watching a machine kick into high gear. With the help of his ally, Chancellor Osborne, he was able to wrest control of City Hall from the noble faction. Then, 4 years ago, he was appointed to his current position as governor of Heimdall. And that's how the Regnitz family came to be where it is.
I don't even know what to say.
So that's why you started hating nobles?
Yeah. I was so furious at Sis's death. My hatred needed to be directed at someone. Anyone. First I blamed her fiancé, then his family, and the family of the Duke who tried to intervene. In the end, I just hated the nobility as a whole. The people, their culture, the entire idea of social classes. I desperately wanted the strength to win against them, to show how right I was, how wrong they were. But deep down, I knew the truth about my hate. I knew I was taking out my anger on people who didn't deserve it. People who had done nothing wrong.
You did?
They may be from different social classes, but people are still individuals. Sis's fiancé was faithful to her. He just wasn't strong enough to shield her from all that ugliness, despite his love. And the Count and his family were only acting in their best interests, which is to be expected, really. Ultimately, I've had to acknowledge that not all commoners are good people, and not all nobles are unworthy of respect. Eustace might not have done much to change my opinion. But getting to know you two showed me that there are nobles who live up to that name.
Machias.
I have no idea how my father feels about all of this, but this is how I've come to feel.
Machias has grown from being a noble-hating, crazy person.
I see.
From being bigoted.
You have my thanks.
I'm glad you felt you could talk to us about it.
Everyone's so close now.
Still, I don't think it hurt to be a bit more honest with yourself. If you're willing to admit all of that, maybe you can find it in you to be friends with Eustace too.
Are you kidding me? I accept that not all nobles are bad, but that arrogant, self-centered fool can go choke on a palm. He's mocking me for spending so much time studying, or telling me I need to get out more.
I don't think he goes quite that far. Besides, I don't think he does it on purpose. He doesn't mean any harm.
That's the most irritating part. He does it without thinking.
Well, that was a good coffee break, wouldn't you say?
Ultimate shot. Cool. Wonder if we're going to be working on the festival day. Well, lunchtime is over. Must be almost time for the summer festival decorations to start going up. Huh? I would have thought preparations for that would have started way before now. Is the summer festival not that big of a deal in the capital? It depends on who you ask, I guess. I always just thought of it as one of those small yearly traditions. In my hometown, the summer festival is a major event with extensive preparation. Perhaps those places where the ancient animistic traditions survive put more effort into celebrating it. Animism does seem to have mostly vanished here. Not as much as in Roar or Crossbow, though. Well, I suppose it's hard to think of it as a seasonal festival in the capital when it's celebrated a month late to begin with. I think most just see it as an opportunity to catch a glimpse of the Imperial family. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, that makes sense. Is that your Arcus ringing? What's it doing ringing out here? Ringing out now. This is Class 7, Group A. Reen Schwartzer speaking. Hello there, Reen. This is Carl Regnitz. Governor Regnitz? Dad? Come to think of it, he did say that we'd be able to use our Arcus communication functionality in the city, didn't he? You're Group A's representative, so I figured it'd be best to call you. Is now a good time? Yeah. Now it's totally fine. We actually just left your home. Machias invited us in for coffee. Did he now? I had a favorite specialty store roast those beans just the way I liked them. It was top-notch brew, alright. With all that's been going on, it was nice to just sit down and enjoy a good cup. Well, I'm glad you were able to spend some quality time together. Anyway, getting to the point. I'm calling because we have a bit of a problem on our hands. That being the case, I'd like Group A to take care of one additional task for me. An extra task? We can do that, sure, but what exactly is it you'd like us to do? There appears to have been a burglary at a jeweler in Garnier District. But that's not all. The culprit seems to have left a message addressed to you. What? Your confusion is understandable. However, the jeweler submitted a report of the burglary to City Hall a short while ago. Normally I'd leave this to the proper authorities, but would you be willing to go and see if there's anything you can do? Of course, sir. We'll head over to the Garnier District at once. Alright then. I'll leave this matter in your hands. What was that about? What was that about? Whatever it was, you seemed perplexed. Well, wait till you hear this. Apparently there was a robbery in the Garnier District, and whoever did it left a message addressed to me.